I'm gonna steal your sunshine and I'll shit on your parade. Don't get me started on doing Michael Caine. My opinion matters, yours will fall in last place. I'm not shutting up and you'll be learning my name. Fifth in the family, but first in my mind. 1 out of 10, but I'm ranking just fine. We've only got now, there's no afterlife. Look, mom and dad, I'm just speaking my mind. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. Everyone's coming on Kyle tonight. Wait, what? No, nobody's coming on Kyle tonight. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. You can't shut this mouth, but you're welcome to try. I only stop talking and drinks while I read and cry. I'll never shut up, gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. You can't shut this mouth, but you're welcome to try. I only stop talking and drinks while I read and cry. I'll never shut up, gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die.
Hey, I totally missed the.
There we go.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Talking about you missing something.
Yeah, talking about me missing something. Welcome, everybody, to
everybody.
Kyle Moko
Sorry.
Won't Shut Up, Season 3, Episode 10.
God damn
We
it.
do a lot of test runs on this show, and we like to do them live. All right, so welcome. I forget where I was going to go with that, but joining me, as always, here is Mr. Justin Olimpado.
Hey, man, you
How
said that
doing?
you missed something.
Yeah,
So,
I missed something. Yep. And now my brain
oh, you
went
went
away.
through
Sure.
10 episodes, time.
Yes. I was talking about. Okay, so our show, we missed
Yes.
our actual 50th episode was 3 episodes
Oh,
ago.
shit.
This is 53. I
We'll wait
believe.
till 100.
Yeah, we'll wait till 100 to really celebrate. But we're over 50 total episodes.
crazy.
We're fucking ourselves over with the counting thing because we have to add now season to season.
True.
But yeah, so hey, we are over 50 episodes.
That's pretty crazy,
It's pretty
though.
insane
It
to
is.
think that we've done that. Once I realized that, I started going back and listening to a lot of the old songs, a lot of the old
Which I will be getting them
intros
up
and stuff
and
like that. Oh, hell yeah. Everybody's interested. All of the viewers want to know. They message me, they ask me all the time,
Hey, when is this going to
when
be?
is this going to be up? And I go, hey, you just send your fan mail directly to 123 Justin Sucks PA.
That's it, man. How do you guys not know this
Yeah,
shit?
like, why do you not get that yet? You know, this is the way that we do things here. All right.
What if
This
the
is way
post office is getting flooded with
I really hope. One day we should just go to wherever
I'm here
the
to pick up
main
my
hub
mail.
is. Hi, do you guys have mail for 123 Justin Sucks PA? Like, it's, I think we've talked about it in the past. Like, it's right next to like the Santa and God letters.
Yeah.
It's right there. Santa, God,
We
Justin
don't want
Sucks
Santa
PA.
or God.
We don't want any of their letters. They probably have so many more responsibilities to deal with than the people messaging us to tell us that our taste in beer is
Now,
shitty.
would you answer if you got
if
a
we got
sack
real,
of
if
like,
we got real fan mail,
Oh, I mean,
real
I'm not
God
saying.
or
I mean,
Santa mail.
I was going to say Santa. Would you?
Yeah, I would respond. I would
to
respond,
them? You would?
and
Okay.
it would be a form letter. Everybody would get the same exact letter, and it would be me announcing my retirement.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
that would be smart.
Yeah, just be like,
parents would love you.
Yeah,
dude.
just like, I have officially announced my retirement as Santa Claus.
Santa is officially retired.
It's been enough time, and that's it. We're not gonna do this present thing anymore. Just ask your parents for them, and then their parents are gonna hate me by the end of the letter.
Yeah, I mean, at first they're gonna be like, "Fuck yes!" Like, no more Santa. Oh, this is awesome. And then you're
I've always wanted a way to ruin
even
Santa for everybody, and maybe the better way to do it is to just have him retire. I think that would be the smartest way to go about it. I definitely think it would work.
Now, would Krampus just take over?
I guess Krampus would, or Robot Santa from Futurama would jump in.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
So as I said before, joining us here is Justin Olimpedo. I'm Kyle Mocha, and now fresh from the studio, we have Mr. Zachary Storman. Zachary Storman. Alrighty, Zach is fresh off the keyboard, finishing up our part 4 of the rubbish epic.
Which 3 just went up earlier.
3 went up earlier today, so I'll be sharing that on social medias for everybody that is interested, and you can go check it out on YouTube at the Houseboat Tommy Lee Jones.
If you haven't listened to the episode yet.
If you haven't listened to the episode, but if you want to just listen to 1, 2, and 3 like in order, you can go do that now, and then soon you'll be able to 4.
I'm gonna try and get 4 up tonight. So
we're gonna do
I'm off till Friday.
Yeah, you had a weird weekend where you like worked when you're usually off, and so.
What are you drinking, Zach?
Yeah, Zach, what are you drinking?
I don't know. I just grabbed something.
You just grabbed something. All right. It looks like he's got the berry lemonade. So you know what this means? We're jumping right in to what are we drinking?
What are we drinking, dude?
What are we drinking? What are we drinking? What are we drinking? Malt
Seltzer.
beverage.
I can already tell you which one I'm not going to like.
Kyle's on a diet.
Kyle's on a diet. There
Which, speaking of, you told me a fact of it.
Oh, yeah. So, I started doing the keto diet last Monday. So last week's episode was only the second day of
I'm
the
gonna
diet.
hate this one, just so you know.
With the berry limeade or
No,
lemonade?
pina colada.
Are you going pina colada first?
I'm going with the one I think it's going to be.
I love pina coladas.
Oh.
And I did not mean to cut you off. You did give me a number that you said that you were down.
So I'm not Keith is sitting there. Yeah, I won't eat bread. Yeah.
Keto Kyle won't eat bread.
Yeah, Keto Kyle won't eat bread. That's the new name of the show. Yeah, I'm not eating bread and sugars and all that stuff. I feel fucking phenomenal compared to literally just a week ago. Even if I only last on this for a couple of weeks.
Don't put in all these chemicals into you.
Yep, literally. But the chemicals I am putting in are carbonated water and vodka and carbonated water malt liquors.
This one
I've been
has
drinking
one
a lot of
carbohydrate
Tito's,
in there,
this week, and a lot of the White Claw. So since I've been drinking the White Claws, and Zach has had White Claws plenty of times, and Justin, you actually just had White Claw for the first time earlier today.
I did, yeah. It was okay.
I wanted to
Really? You
compare
haven't
it.
had it yet?
Yeah.
I have not had
No,
it.
Man, I love it.
Claw's the law, bro. So
will
I
say
decided
I do not like this.
we're gonna
I
give it a
wouldn't
try.
drink
Oh,
this.
pina colada. That's gonna be one I like the least as well.
Yeah, that's why I went with it
I'm going with the
first.
berry lemonade. I'm leaving the pina colada for you.
Well, we have
Zach.
pina colada, berry lemonade,
Yep.
raspberry rose,
Yes.
and cranberry lime.
I'll tell you, I'm not gonna like the cranberry because I just don't like cranberry.
Yeah,
I know I've had the raspberry rosé actually raspberry rosé. Yeah, sorry, there is an accent.
Pardon.
There is an accent. But we had that or I think we actually still have it over at the Cinder. But yeah, so I'm on a diet. Been going for about a week, and when you're fat and you start dieting, the first week is like really easy to lose weight. Usually when I diet, I lose about 5-6 pounds in the first week or so, and I'm down 13 pounds in
which is awesome.
8 days, which is absurd. So we're gonna see how long this goes until I have my wonderful vacation going out to California to visit
And once you
Hey
get
Brother.
back into them carbs,
And
dude.
once I get back into them, how it feels. Because honestly, I think I'm just going to feel like complete shit.
Yeah, and I think hopefully you're just like, yeah, fuck it. Like, this was, fuck
I'm
the
going
carbs.
to get some In-N-Out Burger. I'm going to eat some fresh donuts because that's the two things I love the most
I think this
in California.
tastes more like just seltzer than the White Claw does.
I got to say, the berry lemonade's actually really good.
I think I like these better than the White Claw that I had.
Well, let me
honestly.
check the black cherry to the berry lemonade. Not the same flavor, but...
I don't know, man.
Okay, White Claw and Smirnoff.
Yeah, this tastes more seltzery than anything.
The White Claw has more flavor. Definitely has more flavor.
Really?
It's a little bit more present.
Maybe that's why I think this tastes more like seltzer.
This is definitely more like seltzer. Yeah. And what we have, 4.5, so it's 5% less, or 0.5% less than the White Claw. But hey, it's not offensive to the taste because I'm not drinking the one you're drinking.
You know
there.
what I like
about
the whole seltzer thing is the cans that they're coming
Yep.
in.
They're easier to hold.
Well,
the
these
Red
are
Bull
energy
cans.
drink.
Yeah,
Exactly.
A lot of places are going with this, and the funny thing is
because it makes sense. You're drawn to that shape now.
Yep, definitely. There's a psychological level, and White Claw for a couple of weeks, they were putting out White Claws in regular cans, like regular short fatty cans. And that was only because there was such a demand for White Claw out of nowhere that they ran out of like the ability to can them the way they wanted to. So they just started packaging them in other cans and just sent out the small ones.
Yeah.
Now, as with the White Claw, I do believe that by next summer we're going to have like a 16-ounce can of this available that is like 5 times the alcohol.
I think
it's going to be like a 20% seltzer water.
Except for I think they're just going to say fuck
face.
it and get rid of the seltzer, and it's just going to be malt.
That's Four Loko.
It's Four Loko, but Diet Four Loko with more alcohol and none of the caffeine.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna happen.
Eventually, this is just you might as well like if you were drinking vodka water, you might as well just get vodka on the rocks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like
vodka water is just so I can still drink it like a drink.
Exactly. You
and I don't have to
sip on it.
Yeah, I don't have to sip on it. But then the other good thing is if you have vodka water and just squirt a little Mio in there, you know.
Yeah,
I'm talking like a real douchebag now.
The energy kind.
Nah, just the straight Mio. Actually, I'm not buying it. Mike's been getting it because he's also on the diet. I said the other day, I was like, I just really miss like, it's summer. I want like an Arnold Palmer. And then I came home yesterday and there was an iced tea and a lemonade one. I was like, fuck yes.
They
this
actually
is amazing.
they make a mix too.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Well, they hopefully isn't as strong on the lemonade as the lemonade is. The lemonade is like fucking, you can put like one squirt in it. It smells like, remember when you'd be in high school and if you were doing a sport or something or just in gym and you had to mix the Gatorade and you had that Gatorade powder and the smell of the just straight Gatorade powder.
You had to mix Gatorade powder?
I have Gatorade powder.
Yeah, you have Gatorade powder. You dump one bag into the giant thing and you fill it up with water and then you carry it down.
Well,
that's what happens when you're the bench player on a soccer team. I don't know.
I didn't do sports.
You didn't do sports. You just did karate and punk rock. Karate and punk rock.
He says he's going to get you a cronut, by the way.
Oh, okay. Very nice. I could do a cronut. I could do a donut.
Yeah.
I could do. There's a lot of things that I'm like mentally craving, but my body, I'm like, it's fucking.
You'd fuck a croissant.
I'd fuck a donut.
You'd fuck a donut. And not even one with the hole.
Yo, speaking of donuts,
a bear claw.
Have you watched any of Umbrella Academy?
I have not watched any of the Umbrella Academy.
You should watch it.
I really need to.
I need to get back into it.
I finished it. Oh God, I think it's great.
Yeah, it's Gerard Way's story, right? He's the one that put it all together.
Book.
That's awesome.
James O's checking in live from the Derby at the fair, and he says it's so white here, it might as well be snowing.
Wait, the Derby's tonight, I guess. Oh, I thought it was tomorrow. I thought it was tomorrow. Every time we were talking about this earlier as well. Anytime the West End Fair comes around, I usually either miss it by a week or I find out the day after.
Is it the second night that they open or the first night?
No idea.
No, they opened Sunday.
They opened Sunday.
They did open Sunday.
So this is the third day that they've
You know what's wild, though?
What?
Saturday, they're doing a full-on rodeo.
Really?
At the fair?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
That's what I heard.
God damn, I'm working. I would go to that for sure.
I think I'm gonna
rodeos
go
are wild, dude.
What are you doing Friday?
Nothing. Let's go to the
I'm thinking about going to the fair Friday night.
I work until 7:30, but
on Friday.
Yeah, I probably work till 7.
Yeah, I can meet you there.
Okay, well then just meet us here.
Yeah, I'll pick you.
Oh,
whatever.
Okay.
I don't know what time I'm getting off, but I'm thinking about.
I'll be here about 8 o'clock.
Saturday,
what time do they
something
close?
to do.
What time does the fair end?
10, 11, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's probably a big event. Maybe truck. Well,
Ooh,
James,
trucks.
you're there.
Yeah.
Truck pulls, tractor pulls. What's on Friday night?
Tell us what's on Friday, and then go back to the fair on Friday with us.
I just want to eat.
You were saying that people were saying that.
Yeah, people were saying that it was a disappointment.
Sucks,
it was a disappointment compared to any other year. But then they were also talking about being with a child. Oh yeah, I can.
I'm sure you can.
Yeah, I can get a White Claw. I'm sure I could.
Do they sell?
I'm sure I could go a Friday night not drinking too. You know,
True.
I'm pretty sure I could. I did it this past Friday.
Yeah,
it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I just stayed in and kind of slept a lot because Saturday was the busiest fucking day I've ever worked in my life in any restaurant or bar.
It was a good time.
Oh my god, it was insane. It was a wonderful time. The Cinder had our 15th anniversary of Veronica owning the bar, the 20th anniversary of her working for the bar all around, and then it's the 85th anniversary of the bar being open.
Yeah.
And we always do like to bring up our wonderful sponsor, The Cinder, aside from special stories. Go check us out over there at The Cinder every Wednesday. I run trivia every Friday and Saturday. Mr. Slacky runs Slacky Okie Karaoke.
Yeah, which this Saturday is his birthday.
This Saturday is his birthday for sure. So I can't go to a rodeo anyway because I'm going to Slacky's birthday at karaoke.
That's Saturday.
That's
not
Saturday.
Friday.
No, I thought you said the rodeo was Saturday.
The rodeo
and then
Saturday.
find out James.
But we were going to figure out what was going on.
Yeah, we're
Friday.
going to go on Friday. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh,
What's up,
speaking of Slack,
speaking
there
of
he
Slacky,
is.
there he is.
All right, not to cut anyone off,
But
this pina colada sparkling shit
Yep.
is the greatest fucking
You're
sparkling I've ever had.
But you like pina colada.
I love
Yeah, I'm not a pina colada fan.
You know what
on it,
this-
but I do like coconut.
You know
It's
what you do
weird.
with
I don't
this,
like
though?
coconut. That's why I don't
see,
like
I
it.
do.
You put this over ice.
Yeah.
You throw in 2 shots of spiced rum and
Ooh.
squeeze a little lemon on top.
All right.
There you go.
That'd be the way to do it. That would be a way to do it. But yeah, so we were just talking about the Cinder, and usually after we talk about the Cinder, I go to trivia. But first, I need to tell you some really, really good jokes.
Big assholes. Dirty twats. I'm gonna catch crabs from your mom or dad.
Or dad. All right,
opportunity
so
loser.
as always, Jokes and Anecdotes features only jokes, no anecdotes whatsoever. All right, so getting it started here. Miley Cyrus recently split from her boyfriend, Liam Hemsworth, and was
Well, I'm
quickly
excited.
spotted at a Hollywood nightclub basically having sex with female blogger Caitlyn Carter. Sadly,
not sure
there
who
is
that
no
is.
footage of the instance, or I would have been found basically having sex with myself. Seriously.
I feel so sad
Who is that?
though.
That
Who
she's
is that?
single?
Yeah, well, I like Liam Hemsworth.
Oh, he's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
I'm sure it's,
And I thought
an
Miley,
amicable
I
split.
thought Miley was, like she said in an interview, she was settling down finally. She was going to go back, make some country albums.
So are we going to
just
get
bang
crazy
Liam all
Miley
day?
for a little bit? Or are we
Probably.
going to get rebel country Miley? What if we get rebel
Probably
If we
country?
get
Rebel
outlaw
country.
country Miley, it's worth it to me.
True.
But I don't want no more pop album Miley.
No,
I want,
I think it's Lil Nas X
Stick
and
to the
Miley.
Jolene. Oh.
10 albums.
Yeah.
10 album feature.
Oh, yeah, it'd be good. It'd be good. All right. In other news, President of the United States Donald Trump's least talked about child, Tiffany Trump, recently had a painting of herself done in Swarovski crystals. She gave great praise to the artist known as Mr. Bling Columbia on his job well done. Great name. Great name.
amazing.
Tiffany was quoted as saying, "It's beautiful, I love it, and maybe now Daddy will notice me." You literally never hear of her ever. And honestly,
Do you think on purpose she does that though?
I think he does it on purpose because she's the Marla Maples' daughter. It's his other wife.
okay,
So it's the one that
Tuck
he
her
left
under the
Melania
rug.
for
There's nothing over
her. You know,
Yeah, I
so
gotcha.
yeah, all that
No, he
shit.
left her for Melania.
Sorry, strike that, reverse it. You are correct.
it
But yes,
and reverse it.
so I
I'd
think that's.
strike and reverse Melania Trump.
And I would strike and reverse Tiffany Trump. She's fucking hot as hell. She's got a little bit of a Gina Davis mouth going on with some big teeth, big gums type of situation.
all right.
But she's fucking smoking.
Donald Trump likes hot women.
He makes hot women too. I'm just saying. He's got 2 daughters, both of them hot.
Yeah, well.
I mean, he had a whole competition series for however many, the last 30 years of judging people on their attractiveness.
True.
I don't think it's a shock that he likes attractive women. I don't think it's a shock that he likes the attractive woman he's made either. Maybe that's why Tiffany stays out of the spotlight.
I don't want to think about
Is
it.
that where incest porn started?
Yeah, that's where it started. Donald Trump was like, I would like to have more of this,
You
please.
know, no, they haven't done a Donald Trump parody porn, as far as I know.
Oh, I'm not looking for it,
yeah,
though.
I'm
I'm not
I'm
looking for
looking
it.
for it tonight.
You know, it's Donald Trump with his really long red dick instead of time. All right. And the final joke here. The El Paso shooter has been in custody since shortly after shooting up a Walmart in Texas, but now he has been put on suicide watch. He will remain on suicide watch until the lizard people overlords decide he's better off dead and his guards all take an extended break and the cameras in his cell magically stop working. I was like, how can I make a shooting joke and a Jeffrey Epstein joke all at once? That was how I did it. Yeah. That was how I did it. Well, we already talked about the wonderful Cinder Inn in beautiful East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Okay, the beautiful Cinder Inn in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. I don't want to make it beautiful or anything. It's not really that beautiful. But tomorrow, as I said earlier, I run trivia night every Wednesday. And tomorrow, we have 3 topics as always. And I'm going to pull one question from each of those rounds and ask them here to the two of you in a segment that we like to call Trivia Time.
Yeah.
It's trivia time. I'm a trivial guy. Now it's time for trivia time. Yeah.
I love those, how fake that drum fill is, because it's all MIDI, and I maybe worked on that song for twice as long as the song is.
Yep.
So 14 seconds?
14 seconds. Those were the quickest drops that we ever did.
I just put them in just like...
They're the only drops we ever did, but whatever.
Yep.
I can't wait till next season. I'm going to make new ones.
Yeah, hell yeah. We should make some animated shit.
We always got to be moving onwards and upwards, you know? Yeah. Onwards and upwards. Yeah. All right, so tomorrow we're going to have 3 categories, as I said. The first category is going to be on diseases. The second category is no shit, bullshit, sports edition. Okay. And the third category is going to be what I call mixed nuts. That's just a random grab bag of trivia questions. So without any further delay, I am going to get started here with question number 1 from the disease category. Right. The question is, originating in the Indian subcontinent and appearing in literature as early as 1642 in the Western world, this disease kills an average of 28,000 people per year, but it affects up to 5 million people per year. Used in the title for the classic 1985 Gabriel Garcia Marquez album, what disease is an infection of the small intestine from bacteria whose symptoms often include large amounts of watery diarrhea that can last for days, along with vomiting and muscle cramps? Again, it was used in the title for the classic 1985 Gabriel Garcia Marquez novel. What disease is an infection of the small intestine from bacteria whose symptoms often include large amounts of watery diarrhea that can last for days, along with vomiting and muscle cramps? It kills 28,000, but affects 5 million, and it originated in the Indian subcontinent. So India, you got all those islands around there and everything like that.
Yeah, I definitely didn't get this.
Definitely don't got this. You're giving it a little guess based on the symptoms. Do you have an idea? Do you have an idea?
This is not a disease.
Okay, it's not a disease. Did you just write shitting yourself?
No.
Did you write diarrhea?
No.
Diarrhea. I used the word in there, so if you wrote diarrhea, you must think real dumb. Yeah. All right, real dumb. Okay, so Justin, you got it written down. What are we going with on this one?
Food poisoning.
Food poisoning.
Food poisoning.
All right. I get where you're going with it. Because probably I wouldn't be surprised if 28,000 people died a year from food poisoning, but 5 million. That would be shocked. But
specifically, it's not a disease.
It's not a disease specifically.
But
no.
Slaki is probably right.
All right.
I wrote malaria.
Malaria.
Slaki is right. And
what is he saying? Malaria. All right. The disease is actually cholera.
Cholera, yeah.
Name of the book was Love in the Time of Cholera. Cholera.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
All right.
I think it was an album.
The classic 1985 Gabriel Garcia Marquez novel.
Oh. I didn't know who that was anyway.
Yeah, me neither. I just knew that was a book.
The dude's name sounded like Ricky Martin.
No. Yeah, he probably sounded like Ricky Martin.
I just assumed he had
time of cholera. All right, so the second question is, again, the no shit bullshit. No shit means it's true. Bullshit means it's false. And I'm just going to read a short sentence here, and you write no shit or bullshit.
This is sports.
This is sports
edition.
It
better not be baseball.
Okay.
The Arizona Diamondbacks call Chase Stadium their home in the city of Phoenix. Is that no shit true, bullshit false? The Arizona Diamondbacks call Chase Stadium their home in the city of Phoenix. Trying to give him a chance to catch up a little bit. I gotta give him a little.
You picked the only sport I pretty much know nothing about.
I don't think I'm catching up, fellas.
You don't think you're catching up? All right.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. So no shit is true. Bullshit it's false. Justin, you have an answer written down?
I put bullshit.
Bullshit. All right. And Zach, what
I
are you
put
writing?
bullshit as well.
Bullshit as well. It is no shit. It's true.
Yeah,
Chase
fucking
Stadium
shit.
in Phoenix.
Chase Stadium sounds like it should be in New York.
Yeah, it sounds like Shea Stadium when you say it
Shea
fast
Stadium,
enough.
yeah.
Chase Stadium.
Sounds like shit stadium.
Alrighty, and
Yeah, I was on the
number
same page there,
three.
Mike.
Number three, fish have been a source of nutrition for humans
Not the
since
band.
before recorded history. Not the band.
Okay.
But not all fish are consumed equally. What is the most widely consumed fish in the world? What is the most widely consumed fish in the world? All of the world. All 3 continents.
Okay.
All 62 states.
Yep.
All 2 dimensions.
Right.
All right. Out of curiosity, what's Keith saying in there? He's saying it looks like salmon.
He said no shit, and then Keith said salmon.
Salmon. All right. He's saying salmon. Justin, do you have an answer?
I do.
What do you write?
Tilapia.
Tilapia. Ooh, I like that answer.
Or
And
a pollock.
pollock. All
Pollock
right.
yeah.
Oddly, it is herring.
Herring.
Herring
Goddamn that, yeah.
is the most
Sushi,
widely
yeah.
consumed fish in the world, but shrimp is the most widely consumed seafood
Yeah.
in general.
True.
Yeah, I think
Most-
I would have
makes
said that
sense.
again.
You would have said shrimp. And now I'm thinking, is
Would
it
you have
based on
taken that as
size
an-
or anything like that? Like you eat more individual shrimp, so it
No,
immediately
it's
has.
No.
it's
Or is it
how
by
easy
pound?
they grow. They grow
Oh, okay.
shrimp in Asia in these horrible shrimp farms that are disgusting.
Oh, sorry. It's
Chase
Chase
Field,
Field,
not
not
Stadium.
Stadium. All right. Well, hey, I'll give everybody equal points, which means it's all even anyway. All right. So for the first time, nobody got any questions
Yeah.
right for
Got
trivia
it.
time.
Wait till next season when I put up with fucking questions.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna switch it up, and I'm gonna have to answer
yeah,
questions.
I'm doing just death metal history.
Yeah.
You both come up with questions and ask me. Is that what next
I
season's
don't
gonna
know.
be?
No, I thought it was a game show.
Oh,
Different
yeah, we were
games.
talking
It's
about doing
different
a game
shows
show,
with
and
you
Zach
two.
and I were competing against each other. And then season 5 will be Zach's revenge and
Yeah.
only asking death
And
metal.
everyone's getting diarrhea every episode.
Every night. We're all going to get cholera. Alrighty. So we do have a nice single
Miranda
here.
said cod, by the way.
Cod. She said cod. All right. We have a
Wrong.
single from the group Sweetnest, which we have played in the past. It's this girl named Amanda Rogan, who is out of the Scranton area. And
I did listen to this. It's awesome.
Scranton. She's honestly, even compared to the last song that we heard from her, definitely just, again, moving on up. She's definitely crushing it right now.
Yeah, it's a great song.
She has a full band, and this song is called Baby, correct? Is the name of the song Baby?
I will let you know.
Dong.
Yes, it
Yes,
is.
so you can check them out on Facebook and Instagram. Just look for Sweetnest or
I don't know if this
Sweetnest
is
the
a zip
band. But real quick, I want to give a shout out to her because she, this is the second time we've had her on, and she's she's really moving up. She's been getting a decent amount of exposure lately. So big
be
thanks
nice
to
to have
her.
her on.
I
that
just
would be
just messaged her today and said, whenever you get a chance on a Tuesday, probably more in the fall, we're gonna try to get her on because then we can have another female vocalist, which
Then
is like
it's
one
fall,
of our
and then
favorite
what
fucking
do we do
things.
in fall?
I don't know.
Make death metal.
We do make death metal.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we could do like what was that chick, Amy Lee or whatever, that fucking Wake Me Up.
Evanescence?
Yeah, we can Evanescence. There you
Not
go.
at all.
No,
Totally
I don't
what we're
want to
gonna
do
do it.
that.
But
But we
I was
can
thinking more
definitely
like
do
Arch
like
Enemy.
death metal opera type
Death metal
shit.
opera.
Or like you ever listen to like My Dying Bride?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
No.
some of that English slow funeral death.
Yeah.
With a
yeah,
female
yeah.
vocalist.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I'm down with it. I'm down with it. All right, guys. So here, before we get way too ahead of ourselves with making plans with a person
She's
who
like,
hasn't yet
I'm
said it.
busy every Tuesday.
Yeah, she's like, I do things Tuesdays, like not hang out with you,
Fuck you guys.
3 dumb tarts.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna jump into the song again. This is "Baby" by Sweetnest. We'll see you in a couple minutes.
Baby, I stand calmly on the shore. I sit patiently as they grow more. Yeah, I want more. They're getting longer again, and I wanna go out, and I wanna see the sights with my baby, with the sunshine, with those trying times by the wayside. I wave goodbye. I wave goodbye. We can't go back, no matter how hard we try. And no, I won't look back. I wanna let the waves die.
Three times on everything.
Yeah, I'm currently going.
Yeah.
God, cranberry lime is gonna suck.
You ready for the cranberry
Not
lime?
like that song. That song
No,
was
that song
great.
was
It
beautiful.
was great, dude.
Her voice
Cranberry lime.
is so. Who are you comparing? You said somebody that Mike Ness produced.
God, what was her name?
I don't know. I'm not sure, but literally one of the control she has in her voice. She like has the quivers in there at like just the right amount, and it's not like over the top. It's not Connor Oberste all over the place. She fucking nails it, and literally most music for me comes down
Jade
to
Jackson?
Jade Jackson.
Yeah, Jade Jackson.
Jade Jackson.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta
I
check
have
her
that
out
on
then
vinyl.
too.
It was a great album.
Fuck yeah. But again, check out the Sweetnest on all social media platforms, and check out any upcoming shows that they may have. She didn't tell me anything about any upcoming shows, but they're releasing new music. They're about to release a whole album, so hopefully we'll have her on around the same time that the album comes out, because that would make a lot of sense.
That would be awesome, yeah.
Speaking of making a lot of sense, we're in the middle of our epic right now, and this part of the story, as far as just not the music but the story itself goes, again, if you've not heard in the past, we're writing a 6-part rock epic called Rubbish, the Garbage Man epic. And this week is this thing here. Yeah, that thing right there. And we are so we're part 4 of it, and this is the part of the story that is the journey. This is where our hero Arthur, who was whisked away from his garbage picking life when he touched a magical item that was a golden karate trophy.
Yes.
And he landed in the land of Captalon and was greeted by Letidian and the other dwarves, and went to their hillside village.
Yes.
And he partied with them, got very, very drunk.
Thought he
and
was in a dream.
The last time we saw him or heard from him, he thought he was in a dream and figured, when I wake up in the morning, I'll either be here and this is my fate, or I'll be back at home and holy shit, I'm going to write a rock opera about this.
Yeah.
Zach, was this how this? Did you just have this dream and then you woke up and went, "Oh damn, I didn't touch a karate trophy. I am still here."
I just am obsessed with concept albums. I've written. This is the first one that we are recording.
Yes.
There's one written up there that we need to get.
I've written
No Fun February.
tons of them.
No Fun February is something that we have to
eventually, but
sit down.
Concept albums are my bread and butter, my favorite shit to listen to.
Well, you get to experiment and get out of the traditional...
really specific concept albums like Quadrophenia.
I mean, Pinkerton's a fucking...
Or really obscure
Pinkerton.
ones like anything by Mars Volta.
Exactly,
Or like
Mars
the new
Volta
King
is
Gizzard.
all over
Like,
that.
it's not super specific, but it's still a concept album.
I always
in a
enjoyed
style,
the idea
though.
of the concept band, which I didn't realize one of my favorite bands back in the day was a concept band.
Remember Coheed?
Coheed is definitely a concept. I knew that right off the bat.
Okay.
Armor for Sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Everything
They're good.
about them. Armor for Sleep meant pajamas. Like, that's
Yeah,
literally
that
what it
makes
meant.
sense.
Every song, Wanderers Guild, Dream to Make Believe, like all of their songs.
What to Do When You're Dead? That album was my favorite.
Dude,
by them.
they
That was
were
good.
a whole concept band, and I've always fucking loved them. They were great. But I'm right with you there. The idea of a concept album is awesome. And we were saying upstairs while Justin was working on the intro and we were finishing up vocals, we're going backwards with the way people usually do things in the world of concept albums when it's about something. We are writing the album first. And then I want to try and set
a novelization.
into play. And then from the novelization, I want somebody to adapt it into a comic book. And then from the comic book, we want to adapt it into a live action film.
Yeah.
And then from the live action film, we'll do a play. So it'll start with an album, end with a play. And the play will be a full musical based on the music that
Only
we're
if
writing
the
here.
actual live action is a mix between Tarantino and...
Peter Jackson.
No. Well, it could be Peter Jackson.
It could be Peter Jackson.
Right, so there's
Frighteners.
three. Him and who did...
Pan's Labyrinth.
No.
You thinking that?
fucking
Not-
Pan's Labyrinth.
Not
That would be
Guillermo.
cool too. Guillermo. I
Yeah.
love
Totally
Guillermo.
opposite.
Totally opposite. Jim Henson.
Yes.
Dude,
Dark Crystal.
I
I would
also
take
love
Jim Henson.
Jim
Dude,
Henson.
I would
Exactly.
take- yes,
These are the
yes.
things when you're talking. This is what I'm thinking of,
Totally.
like the imagery, real puppets.
No, I'm thinking
like
shot
real
in the style
puppets.
of who did Grand Budapest.
Grand Budapest. Wes Anderson.
Anderson.
So
Wes
yeah,
Anderson.
okay.
So like
exactly.
stylized shots like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
like the straight shot and
Tarantino
everything's
dialogue.
very detailed. Tarantino dialogue,
With Peter Jackson's fucking...
imagery, the Guillermo del
So
Toro.
just
Yeah.
Stanley Kubrick.
Stanley
Like,
Kubrick.
yeah, pretty much.
Kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit. That
Yeah,
that
all right.
actually is pretty much what that is.
Yeah.
You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
Yeah, all right, so Stanley
Kubrick,
Kubrick.
if you're available, if you finished Eyes Wide Shut and didn't die, come over here and
We
make
got
this
something
movie
for
for
you.
us. But yeah, so that's like the whole idea. So this part of the story is it's the journey. As I said, it's the beginning of
Pilgrimage.
It's the pilgrimage. It's the beginning of all of the dwarves and Arthur, our hero, going into the wilderness to travel to a couple different places.
Right.
The first, they're leaving from an area called the Poke, and then they are going to first they stop at the Cast, I believe.
No, the
Airy. Okay, they go to the Airy first, and then they go to the Cast, and they end at the Wash.
Yeah.
So these are all the names of the places that we're going to in this specific installment. And there is
It's a hell of a journey. It's not
a
close
long
together.
journey. It's a 7-day journey. And it's along a lot of mountains and stuff like that. There's a lot of backstory for you, so you can understand the song a little bit more. When
a lot
and
of
a lot of
fighting.
character
a
development
lot of fighting,
too.
a lot of character
You find
development.
out some shit on
Yeah,
people.
yep. And now, as far as the music side of it goes, Zach, what did you were again? You don't write or record anything until we sit down around 5-6 o'clock, but you're writing in your head
Yes.
all week long. So what were like the themes, the ideas? What were you trying to pull into this that worked, or maybe some things that you didn't get a chance to get in there?
Well, the big thing is, so I wanted to start with a bang, and I had it in my head that we would start with a snare, and then just jump straight into the full song.
Okay.
Because usually on the way home from work on Tuesday, I listen to the last song of the epic that we did,
Okay.
and then pause it as soon as it ends, and in my mind I think, what is... Now I've done this a couple times this week actually, and what is gonna sound good starting...
Like to go with the flow.
Like what?
of the
How
mix.
should the next song start based on how the last one ended?
Okay.
Oh, excuse me.
That was a good one. That was a real good
This
one.
crayon is not as bad as I
Not as bad. You
thought.
thought? I still have. I just picked
I'm
up
on
the
the
wrong one.
raspberry.
I'll say I just finished that one.
I'm
Now
on the
I'm
raspberry.
gonna.
This is not bad.
I saved the raspberry because I think I'll.
I've had the raspberry. I'm gonna go with the cran. I'm gonna follow
But,
suit with Zach
yeah,
here.
this is
Cranberry
not bad.
lime.
So I did want to start with a bang. I also wanted to incorporate the lead in it has that sort of Indian exotic scale
Okay.
to it. I was playing around on the acoustic.
Like imitating a sitar attempt, like
There's one part with like the imitation, like with the fast, like bring bring.
Yeah.
But
something
you know, I wanted
bling,
to have
bling.
that
Should get a
because we were
sitar.
traveling in a world that was exotic.
Yeah.
And us as Western music consumers, Indian music has that exotic.
no, it definitely does.
to
Definitely.
us, you know.
I will
not
say,
around it
I
all
was
the time.
playing the song from last week earlier, kind of doing the same thing, making sure, kind of like figuring out where the story ended again, looking back at that, and remembering how I was singing, getting back into the feel. And my roommate Dan was listening along with me, and he goes, "Is this supposed to be like a Doors style song?" And I went, "No, but you're definitely last week's song
Oh, it
has
could be, yeah.
like especially with the nature sounds, it's got that Riders on the Storm feel, but then the
Well, the way you're
ambiance
singing the verses,
and the way
too.
I'm like over pronouncing things
What I
in a
really felt
Broadway
like that
voice
song
kind of
was
sounds like
like,
him a little bit.
Remember when we did the Art Rock, the Crack the Sky
Yep,
song?
yep.
That last week I felt was in that Crack the Sky sort of vein.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Now, as far as the drumming went, Justin, what was this week like for you? What did it all kind of
Yeah, it was
include?
fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was
This was
fast.
like
It was a little bit fast.
This is like
yeah.
right in your wheelhouse on the fast side of things. Usually you'll play a little bit more on like the doom and like the slower groovy stuff, but this really wasn't that far from where you usually will naturally play.
Yeah, no, true.
Anything that was a super challenge to you, or did you pretty much? I mean, I
Just
looked
keeping
up
that-
after
that's-
writing and I was like, "Oh, you're done."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everything came together pretty good. It was just getting takes that I liked.
Hell yeah. Hell
But
yeah.
it didn't take that long.
What we've got from on this one finally was a lot of times when we're recording, Justin will go to these beats that drop the kick drum out so much.
Yeah.
And in previous albums that we've been working on are more in the hip hop side of things.
Yes.
And you just can't drop the kick out on a hip hop song. So I'd always be yelling at him, "No, put the fucking kick back in this. We need the kick drum. If you're not gonna play it, I'll fucking MIDI put it in." You know what I mean?
exactly.
But this
The
one,
ultimate threat to a drummer.
I'll
program it.
I'll
You
program
motherfucker.
it in. Play the goddamn drum.
I got a robot that
But
can do your job.
On this one, it was right. That beat,
I went more simple with just doing.
but that no kick drum beat
Yeah.
in the verses of the song was the absolute perfect thing.
Well, I felt
for
like
the
it was. I
song.
felt like that part of the song was way more like punk,
Yeah.
where they didn't, but more minimalistic like punk. Where it
Yeah.
was just hi hat, snare. You'd get a kick every once in a while, but just fast hi hat.
What I really do like about obviously we don't listen to it all the way through until we're here live with you guys on YouTube every Tuesday 9:00. You should just be listening live. Why aren't you listening live? But what I really liked about it, and it makes sense with the story, that's the part I like the most, is that this is the first real driving part of it.
Sure.
We had the
20
overture,
minutes in to drive.
the mundane. We had
Well,
what
you
was
had
last
the
week was
theme
the
song
dwarves.
basically.
Yeah, we were
like,
setting up the world, and now the action is taking place.
Yes.
So it makes sense that the song has to be faster. It has to be more upbeat.
more aggressive.
Very much so more aggressive. So that is, I mean, I think this so far is the one vocally that I had maybe the hardest time with, just because of how fast paced it is, how much information I'm trying to put into everybody's head
Right.
as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I wrote notes for Kyle that basically each verse I wrote a paragraph.
Yeah.
The paragraph is probably more words than the verse. Like,
definitely. So I'm
explain
pulling
this in
bullet
less
words.
and I'm giving
I'm
you.
pulling
You're
bullets
giving
out.
a
The
summary
chorus is
of-
4 lines that maybe consist of 22 words altogether, and he sent me a paragraph that was like the shortest of all of the paragraphs about all of the verses and choruses. And that's probably at least a 60-word sentence or run-on sentence, paragraph, whatever. And yeah, so what timing are we at on this one? Last week was around 7 or something.
No, last week was 8:50.
8:50?
This
Yeah,
week
it was.
is 7:20.
7:20. All right, so
7:19.
7:19. 7:19. All right. So, hey, without any further delay, let's just jump right into part 4 of the Garbage Man epic Rubbish. And the name of this one is
The Pilgrimage.
The Pilgrimage. All right, so we'll see you guys soon. Pay attention to the words, they're very important.
Yeah.
Bye.
here on our way. Down the road we'll make our way. Through the wash in 7 days. The TDN leads a dwarf parade. Brings a force I must claim. The key to leave the four kings slain. If it means my life, the TDN says. The treacherous road, demons I never knew. As from hell crush their bones, men of death lay them in the road. Make our way to the airy coast. Riverside is our peaceful zone. Save the town, no risk of approach. Then to the cast we'll go. To save Catalan, these brave dwarves and I, for our lives and for Catalan, rings of force be on our side. By these other dwarves to heal and feed, welcomed in with such an ease, I feel there must be more than seen. The TDN reassures me of friendly folk these cast dwarves are. The others say trust is all I need. The cast dwarves approve of our siege. Trust is all I need. Friendly folk these be. Up with a glass and he toast to my name. All the words exclaim, Arthur, our hero came. Our hero came. I still don't trust him. To save Catalan, these brave dwarves and I, for our lives and for Catalan, rings of force be on our side. To the wash we trug, city and ruin, demons of mud. To the dance full of fight and test our luck. Find the ring so forever be stuck. Demons clear as we see the gates. Something must keep them away. As we approach, I hear a clang. That'll monsters who take chase. They hold control the temple. Stand guard to keep what's inside. Here from toward the demons. A battle of chase, we lose no lives. To the center, careful course. Amidst the halls we traverse. Once in the clear, they push me first. And I reach out for the rest.
All right, guys. There you go.
A
So
lot
that
of
is
fuzz going on there,
a lot
man.
of
I got
fuzz.
fuzz bass, fuzz guitar, fuzz
All the
vocals,
fuzz.
fuzz everything.
Everything's fuzz.
There's a
That was
lot of weird, cool shit in
a
there.
lot of random stuff, and it's
The
funny. Right at
talking.
the end when the breathing, because in my head he was like, I need just breathing. So I was like, heavy breathing, and I literally just finished doing that like long run through, and I was like, oh yeah, I got it. So I'm just like, all right, and then like after a while I'm like, all right, now I'm just getting lightheaded. So I'm like, so at one point I go up like, and I'm like, oh, it kind of sounds like sex noise. Oh, never mind. But in my head I'm thinking we were just watching the clips from Endgame, and my thought is like he picks up these rings and puts them on. It's probably like an introduction of power to his body
for sure.
that he doesn't know, and he just
It's
got done
orgasmic.
running through and he just got done running through fighting metal monsters, these cyborg like creatures. But right when the breathing started, the cat from her chair just picks up her head and just like looks at Zach and just kind of like, what the fuck is going on, you guys? You do some weird shit, but this is really fucking strange.
It's weird when the cat is judging you on the music you're making.
Or when you're giving the cat an inner monologue in your own head about how it's judging you. That's got to say something about me personally. And Zach. Yeah. It's got to say something about us. So next week we'll be going into part 5. And then naturally the week after that will be part 6. So what is part 5? A little preview. What is that going to entail?
Real quick, can we go through what actually happened?
Yeah. So basically, lyrically for everybody. So the whole thing begins with him waking up and he realizes he's still here. This is his fate.
Right.
And they start this 7-day journey all the way to the wash. And they, along the way, are meeting different demons. And if you're listening to the pronunciation, it is demons with a D. D-E-M-O-N-D-S. Yeah. And they... So they're battling some demons. There are hellhounds and like the Living Dead style giant spiders, which I didn't actually work in there lyrically, but along those lines. Think of everything you've experienced in a fantasy.
Skyrim, Zelda,
Lord of the Rings, all that bullshit. Yep. And you are all that terrible bullshit.
This
that we all
song
love.
had a big Final Fantasy influence for me too when I was.
Yeah, those bridge parts.
Yeah, putting it out. Yeah.
Yeah, what did you call the one part? You were like, "This is like the victory."
It's like the the Final Fantasy music.
Yeah, I totally know what you guys are talking about. Final Fantasy music. Yeah. One day I'll not play them.
You can get it on your phone.
I know.
Just go play Final
I
Fantasy
know.
You would just
7.
get fucking lost in Final Fantasy.
I would. These are things. I have an addictive personality. I avoid certain things because I know I will disappear for forever.
Totally do it.
I'm gonna be
actually, if you probably the best way to play them currently.
Yeah.
They're I think 7, 8, 9 are on Switch.
Yeah.
Sure. All right.
So just
Now-
go buy yourself a Switch.
Sure. Yep.
So just save up $300 to play
Okay.
a game that came out in 1997.
Yes.
All right.
But
How
it's
about
worth
I
it.
save up $30 to buy a Nintendo and I start from the beginning? How terrible is that?
You could.
Could I?
could.
How bad are
Yeah,
the first
then-
handful of games?
No, they're
though?
great,
Not bad.
but
They're
it's
not
just
bad.
hard
It's
to
just
play
different,
because the
dude.
graphics are just
I mean, I guess
so
it wouldn't really
antiquated.
matter.
I mean,
for
I
you.
have an 18-year-old TV in my bedroom,
Yeah.
so I think
But
I'm like on
you
the
know
level
what? I
there.
do
That would
have,
probably be really
I have
cool.
some of the
Yeah.
remakes.
Yeah.
I have like Final Fantasy 3 and 4. They did DS remakes,
Yeah.
and those are the ones that are on your phone now.
True.
All right.
So like I have 3 and 4 on my phone that are the DS versions where the graphics are good.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah,
Maybe
you
I'll
should
check it out.
totally do it.
You
So-
should just play 7.
I should just play 7.
Just play 7.
You've told me this in the past.
Yeah.
All right. So the beginning, the first verse is kind of all that. They start their journey down a treacherous road. Treacherous. I'm not Sean Connery. Treacherous. Down a treacherous road. And then they get to the Airy. The Airy is a peace zone. There is, for some unknown reason, no demons, nothing lives there. It's kind of a desolate land next to a river.
Sort of a safe zone.
A safe zone. So they go there and then they rest. From there, they moved to the cast, and the cast is where they meet the other dwarves that our hero Arthur is not totally trusting of. He feels there's something amiss, there's something off here.
Right.
But all of the other dwarves swear up and down that this is...
You always have one in the group, right?
There's always one in the group. There's always one person like, I don't know, I got a
It
bad
just so
idea
happens
about
to be
this.
the chosen one to save the land.
Exactly.
Has a feeling about it.
Has a
you
feeling
know?
about it.
I don't
So
know.
there's a little bit of something there. And I'm not saying foreshadowing, but foreshadowing. And then, so after they leave the cast, they go back on the road, more fighting, and that's why you get the screams and everything. Anytime they're on the road, they're constantly going to be attacked and approached by demons. None of them are as powerful as the Boar King himself. But they are still
a challenge.
foes that they need to. If you were playing it as a game, you would lose a couple of hearts,
Yes,
you know, if
before
you
you
got a
got
couple
to-
of hits there. But you need to, you know, just battle through them, and they're going to the Wash. And the Wash is the land where the powerful rings, and they are made of black gold. And
Yes.
detail, again, also not in the song. That'll be more in the novelization when that is released. And then we'll do an entire NPR episode where we just talk about the book that we're releasing very
Will you
quietly.
read it in the same
Oh,
voice?
yes, I'll read it exactly like this, the entire book. And then, so they get to the Wash, and at the Wash, there are very, very, like, lesser demons, and they're not really even as powerful as what they came across on the roadway to the Wash. And they are trying to get to the Temple of Five. The Temple of Five is where those rings are held. And as they approach the gates of the Temple of Five, they realize all of the demons, all the little ones that are there, aren't anywhere around. So it might also all of a sudden seem like it's a safe zone, but it's not necessarily a safe zone, because once they pass through the gates and they get into the walls inside the temple, they begin being chased by these metal monsters, as he calls them, and they are there to protect.
Yeah, they don't know what they are. Like
dwarves.
Zach was saying earlier.
Yeah.
They don't actually know what they are.
They don't know what they are, but
we
They
know
know
that-
that they're not fleshy in the way that
Yes.
the demons are fleshy.
but they seem to be able to be. They're still able to be outrun or tricked or something
Or
along
killed.
those, or killed. And so they battle a bunch of them on their way to the center of the Temple of Five. And once they get into the clear, the other dwarves, knowing that Arthur doesn't really know exactly what they're doing, he's kind of following the lead. This is the push he needs to get the rings so he can eventually defeat the Boar King. So they push him in first, and he reaches out, and the last line in the song is he reaches out and grabs the rings. So that is pretty much the whole thing in a nutshell.
And where the parties are at this point, they are spent.
They
They
are
have gone on
7
an
days.
Again, 7
incredibly
days
long
fighting.
journey.
fighting every
Basically,
day,
yeah.
on the watch at all times.
Yeah.
You can liken it to Lord of the Rings in Fellowship, right before Boromir gets killed, like right before that battle, where it's like they are already
they're all exhausted.
They're already
they've sort of turned on themselves in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you definitely are. Yeah, there's probably some infighting a little bit. Like we can flesh that out with like the novelization.
Well, I mean,
of
the
it.
whole when he tried to grab the ring and shit.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. When he was like wanting
Yeah.
and one does
Like
not
that
simply
weird
pass
tension,
into the
yeah.
wash.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. So next week, where are we going with the story? A little teaser into the story. What is the kind of like the bulk of
something
it?
bad is gonna happen.
Something bad. We only got 2 left. Something's got to
They
happen.
are the party is beat. They are beaten down, worn out, and
they still haven't even gotten to the main fight
yes,
that they
and
need. They haven't gotten to the
here-
main boss.
you know they have the rings
They can't
now,
afford no horses.
but
No.
the hardest. The hardest part of the party sticking together and doing the right thing is coming up next week.
Okay. So next week,
It's-
just
it's,
stay tuned. It's gonna get.
They think they're in the
Epic
clear,
or-
but they are not in the clear whatsoever. Things are about to get dark and bad for our party.
So, what kind of do you have any ideas as far as music for that yet? How are we going darker and heavier with it, or is it going to be?
Yeah, probably.
All right, very cool.
I think I have the title of the song.
All right. You can
It's
keep it in
called,
if you want. If you
we
don't.
could say it if you
Say
want me to
say
say
it.
it.
Let's
It's
go with
called The Death of a Friend and Mentor.
Death of a friend and mentor. So, if you want to know more about it, tune in next week
Yeah.
again, live at 9:00 here on the Houseboat.
You know what I
Tommy
was
Lee
just
Jones
thinking
on
is
YouTube.
once you get the story fleshed out, we
Yeah.
should do a full-on reading with anybody that wants to play a character.
Yeah.
When you
Oh,
need a
definitely.
narrator and then people to play the parts. There you go.
That would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That would be a good episode just to do. Like get
Well,
get
it
a
would take more
360
than one
cam.
episode, I think.
Get a 360 cam, set it up in a room, and just.
I think that'd be a YouTube series.
Yeah, that could be an
Reading
entire
of the book,
series.
yeah.
That'd be fucking awesome.
Now
I would
write the
definitely.
book, dude.
I like your thoughts. I like
Yeah.
where your brain's at. I'm gonna go. We're
Coming
gonna go
in the
there.
future.
In the future, in the year 3000 at least. All right, so again, that is Rubbish, the Garbage Man epic.
Epic.
I drop my sometimes.
From drinking all
it's
this
4
fucking
of
smearing
6.
off raspberry.
Yeah. Which one are you on right
I'm
now,
on
Justin?
raspberry. So
You're on.
I'm
you're
about
on-
to open up.
I'm on raspberry. It's the last one I got.
It's the last one you got. All
Speaking
right.
of that, I do, and I never.
open up
Here,
the
here's
berries.
another
I
pina
always
colada. I'm
want
not
to
going to
say
drink it.
I appreciate while I'm working on the song.
Yes.
I think it's you who comes down here and sets up this area.
Yeah.
that we
Well, Justin sets
do
up
the
that
showing.
area. I set up your table.
Yeah, I get
But
it.
you
right.
always set up my end table here. This is the end table that is usually in the living room by the couch.
I think last week I brought it over.
Yeah, last week you did.
But someone, I never see it because it come down. Someone moves the end table over
No,
here,
we just set up the room.
gives
when
me
we
an
have time.
ashtray,
Clean ashtray, beverages.
and like four to six beverages.
Yeah.
So I don't have to I just come in and I sit down.
Well,
and
we know
it's
you're
all
up there.
set
You're
up.
gonna be
Yeah,
you're gonna be up there until after we're live.
Trying to streamline this a little bit.
Streamline it as much as
So I
possibly
appreciate
can.
that. That's a
Well,
big
we
thing for me.
appreciate you not being a dick all the time, so that's pretty good too.
Fuck you guys.
Hey, I appreciate that as well. So for our final part here on the episode, what I wanted to talk about, I actually didn't talk to either of you about this yet.
Right.
I was thinking earlier, I was watching a bunch of dumb YouTube videos over the course of my life, and a lot of them are about movies and like fan theories and stuff like that. And most movies today, a lot of movies today, are all reboots, reimaginings, or TV shows that are reboots or
Or
recreations.
finally have the technology to do so.
Exactly.
Like us doing a proper superhero show now. Like
Yeah.
when we watched the Avengers.
Yep.
We watched the Endgame spoilers and stuff like that.
Yeah, the
When
Endgame spoilers, and they show Rocket. They show Rocket Raccoon, and
it was basically if it was the 90s.
It was like the pre-finalized,
Yeah,
and it was just his mouth didn't move. but like his arms and it just looked like a bad
like he would
CGI.
hop up on things correctly, but his body was real stiff. The movements were all right.
Everything else was so weird.
God damn it! That's
Justin,
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row with
Fuck
it.
me.
You
are so stupid.
There's so much shit on my desk. That's the problem.
So many things in your desk, and you're not a small fella. So yeah, why don't you get that cleaned up while we jump into this? So we what I was thinking and what I wanted to kind of throw to you guys and see what your thoughts were. What either mostly in my head it's movies, but what either TV show or movie have they not rebooted or redone that you have either been waiting for them to do or that you really, really want to be made? And to give you a second or two to think about it, the one that I've been thinking, any genre, and I'm going to go kind of a little out of left field with this one. One movie that I loved as a child, and I don't know if Zach's seen it. I'm assuming Justin, being of the senior citizen age that you are, that you've probably seen it.
Okay.
Lord of the Flies. No.
I've seen that one.
I know. The original one or the weird German one? Because the weird German one's really fucking
they're
good.
both weird.
They're both strange. The one that I always liked, and I've been wanting it to be remade for years and years and years, and I always thought that it was gonna happen like a Chris Rock movie.
Gonna happen?
It was gonna happen, like and I figured Chris Rock, and he could still technically do it. Brewster's Millions.
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie? Have you ever
that's
seen
a great
the movie?
movie, dude.
So the idea of this movie, it's Richard Pryor and John Candy and Eugene Levy. It's like
that's the
weird,
that's the one where
he inherits $30
he has to get rid of it all in a specific amount of time.
So he has 1 month. He inherits from his rich white ancestor that he didn't know he had. He inherits $30 million, and he is given 1 month to spend all of the $30 million, and if he does that, he inherits like $1 billion.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what would the actual the inheritance be? Would it have to be a couple billion?
You would have to go now. You would go. You've got $300 million to spend because the catch, the whole catch of the movie is he has to get rid of it, but he cannot. No, in a month, but he cannot retain anything of value.
Yeah.
So he has to spend
keeps
it
winning,
on
like,
things.
Like with the gambling
he
shit.
goes to gamble and he keeps winning. He can only donate so many millions of dollars. So he's throwing parties. And then at one point he decides to run for mayor of New York, I believe. And he runs under the concept of "don't vote for me." Yeah. And he just tells everybody not to vote for him. He rents the New York Yankees for a day. Yeah,
he does like all kinds of crazy,
all the crazy
it's a great
shit.
Movie.
And one of my favorite scenes in the movie, and one of my favorite scenes in any movie, is he goes and buys a stamp from a stamp collector for $1.8 million, and the rich assholes who are, I'm pretty sure, the same rich assholes from like Trading Places and all of those movies, Coming to America, the homeless guys. I'm pretty sure it's those guys. If not, it's just the similar cast, 1980s. The guys that lived like they were in the 30s still. Yeah, driving a Rolls or being driven around in a Rolls Royce, 3-piece suit everywhere they go. They see in the news, they're reading like the New York Post or whatever, and it says, and the whole world knows that Brewster's doing this. And they say he buys this $1.8 million stamp, and they're like, this idiot, doesn't he understand how this works? And right then something comes in the mail for them, and he has mailed them a letter using that stamp, and it's like a 90 or 100-year-old stamp, and it's now ruined because it's a stamp with a stamp on top of it because it got shipped. So I always thought that would make a great remake. A great movie to be remade.
Who would play the character?
I think Chris Rock is the go-to guy.
John Candy.
John Candy, you throw a Zach Galifianakis out there, not even for like the funny fat guy role of it, but you could switch it up totally with that.
True.
You could really, all of the supporting cast.
It would have to be somebody that could play off Chris Rock. Really well.
Somebody that can play off Chris Rock.
You know what?
Louis would have been good if he could come back to life.
I'd even say Adam Sandler's next movie could be that remake.
Yep, that could be. And
Chris Rock and Adam Sandler.
And then there's you can do the controversial thing and go with not a black dude to do it. But if you're remaking a Richard Pryor movie,
but what if it was Richard Pryor in John Candy's place at that point and you flip the roles?
Flip the roles. Yeah, I think you still go with it, and I think Chris Rock, like, do it kind of. Remember that movie Down to Earth that Chris Rock made? I thought about it since then. Down to Earth is where he plays a stand-up comedian who dies right before his big break at the Apollo. And he, instead of just dying and going to heaven, he gets put into the body of a rich white man, right? So ever since I saw that one, he could do that. And that itself is a remake of a Warren Beatty movie from the 70s called Heaven Can Wait, where Warren Beatty plays the quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams and dies, and then wakes up a billionaire in an old man's body who also would have died at the same time, and decides to like buy the Rams and tries to make himself the quarterback of the Rams. So they switched football with stand-up comedy for that, so you could just do pretty much the same thing with Chris Rock. Whoever they cast, I think it'd be a really, really fun idea. But do either of you, off the top of your heads, a little bit of time?
I have a few.
What would be like the number one that you think?
I'm gonna give you two.
Two. All right.
Let's
go to the first one.
13 Ghosts.
Okay.
It's
weird choice.
Yeah.
But Eli Roth directing.
Oh.
Like a really hardcore, like an R-rated.
Like very brutal 13 Ghosts.
I only watched that once because it's a horror movie, but it was really good.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Miranda is saying Camp Nowhere.
Camp Nowhere was remade. Camp Nowhere was remade, and you've already seen it. The movie that Camp Nowhere was remade as is called Accepted, starring Justin Long. It is literally the exact same fucking movie. Camp Nowhere is a story about a bunch of kids who don't want to go to a camp that their parents are sending them to, so they create their own camp. They go to that camp and they hire an old guy, played by Christopher Lloyd, who's a failure at life, to be the camp leader. And then they just do whatever the fuck they want all summer, and then all of a sudden they get caught on Parents' Day. Yeah. That is literally the plot for Accepted, except switch it out for a college. Yeah. And it's one of those things like how Point Break was remade into Fast and the Furious and nobody really realized it. It's the exact same story. A bunch of people outside the law, a guy inside the law infiltrating them. They're doing a bunch of crimes, but really they're just doing an extreme sport. They just switched surfing for car racing. Exact same thing. Sure. But if they did a straight remake of Camp Nowhere, I'd be on board with that. And what's your second one?
My second one, I can never remember the name of it. Yeah, it's a Charlie Sheen movie. It's a sci-fi movie.
Oh, The Arrival?
Not The Arrival. We've gone through this. Hang on, I have to figure out what the name.
Not the one where he's like following like Roswell or something like that, like all like the aliens, and then they can bend their knees backwards and jump really high. Because that's what
The Wraith.
The Wraith. I've never seen this. I've never seen this.
The Wraith, the car, awesome. The way he comes back as the car guy?
No.
Yeah, he's an alien.
Yeah.
It's a crazy movie, dude.
It's a crazy movie.
You should watch it. It's a great classic.
All right.
But Charlie Sheen,
what
super
year
young.
around do you know?
It's 80s.
80s?
Early 90s.
Early 90s?
It is.
And do you have any ideas?
1986.
1986. Damn, that's
and
like
I'll read
that's
the
like
cast
literally
off
one
to
of
you.
his first
All
fucking
right,
movies.
I will read the cast off to you.
Yeah, go.
Charlie Sheen. Randy Quaid. Nick Cassavetes. Shirley Fenn. Clint Howard.
Oh, damn.
Jamie Bosnian. David Sherrill.
Of
the other guys, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
But
so
it's basically a dude who gets killed.
Okay.
By like this gang of, I don't even know what the fuck they are. They're like
it's
super
like the
car,
Crow, but cars
related.
Okay.
And he comes back as an alien that can transform into a car, and they do like these crazy races off of like cliffs.
And he's the car. Is there like
and he's
nobody
the car
driving
that they don't
the car?
Know. They figure that out towards the end, but it's
real
just like
heavy tinted windows. Everyone thinks there's like that he's in the car. Yeah. Okay.
But like the characters are what make that movie. Like the two brothers who are the fucking like tweakers. They would fucking like snort fucking and drink gasoline and shit. Like it was just like weird characters throughout this whole thing. But
now, do you have any? You said Eli Roth for 13 Ghosts. Do you have any idea for a director or an actor that you would want? Would you go another younger person, or would you remake it with Charlie Sheen now?
Probably do Charlie Sheen now.
Charlie Sheen now, like literally just do it.
Whatever.
Not a sequel. Just remake the movie.
How about Forrest Gump but Shia LaBeouf?
Oh, dude, Shia LaBeouf is the year of Shia. He is making his resurgence. Between Honey Boy and the Peanut Butter Falcon that are going to be coming out soon, he is fucking on it. And we were talking about earlier how he's releasing Honey Boy, and it kind of coincides with Even Stevens going to be on the Disney streaming service. So you're going to be able to watch all of that. So you're going to be able to watch Even Stevens with your kid or your cat, and then put your kid or your cat to bed, and then go and watch.
Go to the Cineplex.
Go to Cineplex, yeah. Go to Cineplex and watch the other, yeah. So Zach, what ideas pop to your head on any?
I mean, the
movies?
first one that pops in my head, and they've talked about it for years, and most anime adaptations don't turn out the way you want them to. But they have talked about doing a Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, really?
That would be
for
rad.
a long time, and the two people that they keep talking about being the two main characters in Bebop are Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne.
Now, what if that, because
teaming them 20 years
the
later?
great thing about that show, though, is it's a very dialogue-driven show, too.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, you're getting... So, Tarantino should direct that on top
God,
of,
if Tarantino did a Cowboy Bebop...
That would be phenomenal.
That
where
would be
it's
incredible.
literally dialogue with Lawrence
Now,
Fishburne
they haven't
and
done
fucking-
many... There hasn't been that many or any great live-action Hollywood adaptations of anime. They just can't do it.
The one that was...
But Bebop is a space western.
It is.
They're
It's
about
really
bounty
cool if you've
hunters.
never
It
watched
is. It is
I've
so
seen
based.
minimal stuff
It
on
is
it.
so
That's
based
kind of
on
like cursory
cowboys
knowledge
and
about it,
western.
yeah.
It's a space western.
It's
and
a space spaghetti western almost.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
like
for sure.
it's definitely
so
that way.
if there was one that could be done by Hollywood, it is the one that could be done.
Yeah,
Now,
I
what's
mean, they
funny
tried Ghost in the
is-
Shell, but they went
Yeah,
PG with
yeah.
it.
And
Like,
then they
Ghost in
did
the Shell's not a
the
PG.
American anime Last Airbender turned into, or Avatar: The Last Airbender turned into one of the worst
Airbender,
movies that ever was made. And now the original creators of Avatar: The Last Airbender are creating a live action series.
They are,
or movie. I think it's a series.
I never got into
it is
Avatar.
phenomenal. That was what I thought was going to get
Has
me
anybody
into
watched
anime.
the Full Metal Full Metal Alchemist live action?
No,
But see, that's
no.
Asian movie.
I know it is.
Yeah.
I know it is. Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
they've
Same thing
they've
with the
done
Attack on
they've
Titan
done a
stuff.
few. They did the Attack on Titan. They also did a few Gundams.
True. They have. Yeah.
But there hasn't been a full Western. I mean, they're talking about doing Akira too.
They've been
Okay.
talking about Akira
They've
for
been
a
talking
long
about Akira
time,
since
dude.
Akira came out.
Yeah.
But
I
that's
think
a
we're
hard
close.
one.
That's not Battle
Yeah,
Angel,
but see, I
right?
think we are definitely
that's
no.
not-
That's an amazing
Akita
movie.
Battle
though.
Angel.
See that
Alita.
Alita, there we go.
Alita worked.
Alita was great.
But I
didn't
wasn't.
see it, but it
I
looks
didn't
you
know
didn't go
any.
to theaters with us?
No, I didn't
Oh,
see it.
dude,
No.
you should
But
watch.
I did
you
not.
need to watch that
I did
movie.
not
It's
read
so good.
the manga or watch.
I didn't
I
either.
didn't know about it.
I didn't
Okay.
either.
But see,
But see,
Bebop.
you don't have that
Bebop.
potential
most people-
disappointment there.
yeah.
But see, the thing is most people that were into that loved the movie except for the eyes. They were like, just keep the eyes normal. But once you watch it for long enough, I didn't even
I
really.
I
notice.
loved that movie.
I thought it was
actually.
great, dude.
Hell yeah! And then what is your second idea that you would do? If you have
a
one.
second.
Well, if you don't, I want to jump over to the chat right here because we have a couple of things.
Keith says blank check.
Keith says blank check, and that's what I've been looking at for the last couple of minutes. Blank Check is from our childhoods one of my favorite fucking movies. You ever see the movie Blank Check?
Yep.
So basically, it's a little kid, he's like a 12,
And he's
13-year-old
given a
kid,
blank check?
and he gets hit by a car while riding on his bike, and the dude who hit him gives him a check and doesn't write the amount, and just goes, whatever your fucking bike's worth, here you go. So the kid goes home, and he makes a check out to cash on his computer, and he's like a computer nerd before it was like anything.
Yeah, I know this movie.
And then he makes it out for $1 million, but the guy who hit him is supposed to be going to get $1 million from the dirty bank owner or the bank manager for some, crimes and stuff like that. And the kid inherits it, but then he winds up buying a house, buying a fucking.
He gets tracked down.
And it's so fucking funny. It's a really good movie, and it actually holds up even as an adult. Like certain kids' movies from the 90s just fucking fail when you rewatch them. But then he
What
also
about Problem
threw
Child?
in
Does that hold up? I
Problem
love that
Child.
movie.
I would
love those
remake that
movies,
movie.
dude.
I would
Yeah.
remake that movie for sure.
Yeah.
You put somebody. I mean, you got to redo John Ritter, and if you're gonna redo John Ritter, you go somebody like literally throw like Ryan Reynolds into that movie.
For sure.
Ryan Reynolds would be great. Keith's other choice there is the Phantom.
Yeah.
The Phantom just needs to be made again because that is of the era of the bad old 1930s comics being made, or the good old 1930s comics being made into bad movies. Dick Tracy happened right after.
Yeah.
See, people hate that movie. I don't necessarily.
It gets a lot of shit, but that happened right
dude.
after Batman happened.
Yeah,
so
no,
Batman
yeah.
happened. That started. That was the first round
I would
of
like
all
a
those
Dick
movies.
Tracy being remade.
Another
That would
Dick
be
Tracy
awesome.
would be sweet.
You know
but they
what
made the
fits right in
Phantom,
that?
and then they made the Shadow with Alec Baldwin, and there were a bunch of these like 1930s noir-esque movies.
You know, The Rocketeer would be a cool
The
one,
Rocketeer.
too.
That's the other one I was trying to think
The
of. There we go.
Rocketeer would be a
Love that
sweet
movie. Gets a
fucking
lot
remake.
of shit, and they make jokes
Well, that
about
was
it
a
even in
Disney
Family
movie.
Guy about how
Right, that
only
was a Disney
stupid
movie?
people rent it. I believe it was a Disney movie. Yeah,
I mean, so
Yeah.
obviously followed Disney's format back then. They
Yeah.
didn't have Marvel back then.
But
they didn't have
seriously,
Star
it was so good for what it was.
Oh, yeah.
for
No,
when
it's a
it came
great
out.
fucking
It's
movie.
so fucking good. What were you gonna say there?
The movie that fit into a bunch of those movies that everyone forgets is Darkman.
Wars. Darkman's great, dude.
Remember Darkman?
That is that's
Holy
what's his name
shit.
from The Evil Dead? Fucking
Campbell?
Robert Rodriguez?
Oh, no, Robert Rodriguez. Was it Campbell?
Is it? Right? Is it Rodriguez?
I believe so.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Keith's also throwing out The Last Starfighter. That would be a really fucking
Yes,
good one
Last
to do
Starfighter would
with
be awesome.
modern technology video games.
Well, they did that. Future Man.
Oh yeah, Future Man. Keith,
Future Man,
watch Future Man.
basically.
It is based on Last Starfighter in the way
Sort
that
of.
they referenced
But
Last
watch it.
Starfighter.
It's fucking hilarious.
It's Last
dude.
Starfighter mixed with the
Well, Seth
Terminator.
Rogen wrote it.
Yeah.
know
Seth
what I mean?
Rogen wrote it as an homage to all of those movies.
They
they
reference
straight up,
Back to the
yeah, they
Future,
do.
all kinds of shit.
But
Watch
he
the movie,
wins
it's
it by
fucking great.
playing a video game.
Yes.
Another one before Keith can get to it that I have thought of after Home Alone came out. There was again a craze. Anytime a movie's really successful, they try to capitalize on it. And a few years, by like 4 or 5
I'm sorry,
years
that was
later,
Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi. There
That's
you go.
what I
Yeah,
meant.
that's a name I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Our captain, Mr. Picard himself, Patrick Stewart, is in this wonderful movie called Masterminds.
Okay.
That is not the new movie Mastermind. Has nothing to do with that. The one with Zach Galifianakis. But it is him and Vincent Kartheiser, who you might know. There was a movie called Alaska with him and Thora Birch in the 90s. But he was like the snide, kind of asshole-ish guy in Mad Men.
Okay.
So it's him as a kid. He plays a hacker who hacks things by literally like using a joystick to walk through like a cartoon, like fucking like when they didn't know how computers worked in movies. And so he's a hacker who's been expelled from this school, so he goes to a public school, but his parents are really rich, and they basically work for like Bill Gates. His dad basically works for Bill Gates or a character like that. And then they Patrick Stewart is a security officer, or not officer, he's a security guy. He's installing a new security system at this school, and he is really using the school because of its proximity to a bank, and he's drilling into the bottom. And the kid that got expelled has been playing pranks at the school for years, so he knows the ins and outs and everything. He's riding a skateboard everywhere. So he just Home Alones all of these bad guys in the school that he knows while they're holding the entire student body hostage by machine gun. And it's just this really fun, lighthearted, brutal, like teen comedy. It was like, oh, you liked Home Alone 5 years ago, and now you're 13, 14, 15? Here's a new movie.
Actually, I have a second here that I would like to see made into a properly good movie.
Yes.
I Love Dr. Moreau.
Yeah.
Ooh,
that would be
because
great.
the
That would be
fucking
great.
Val Kilmer one.
I love it. I love
It's
that
so
movie,
fun.
but it's so bad.
Sometimes it's hard to fucking
But
sit
you
through that,
and
though.
especially when you know the backstory of the making of that movie,
Yeah.
Marlon Brando is the king of making movies difficult, apparently, because Apocalypse
Oh, he's
Now
horrible.
was one of the worst experiences for most people.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't want to.
And in that movie, he basically had already eaten himself to death. And he was, but Island of Dr. Moreau, that is one novel
story is
I have read
so
so many
excellent.
fucking times. I've read that thing. I have a little like thin like pocket copy of it. And whenever I go on vacation anywhere, if I'm going to be on an airplane, I bring that because I'm like, I can read this on one flight to the West Coast.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good. The descriptions, how fucked up and twisted the experiments are, everything about that is so goddamn
And
fucking
in a modern
good.
sense, with the way that modern technology
Yeah.
Sure, it would be
It's
much more
begging for,
believable.
And if you give James Cameron that movie instead of Avatar 2 and 3, he could actually make them look really fucking
Yes,
good.
true.
Or at least the team behind Avatar. all
Well,
the
I
visual
think
specs.
Cameron's just worried about destroying The Last Airbender.
He's not going to do it.
I would like to see Screamers get remade. I don't know if you've ever seen
Screamers,
Screamers. It's a wild movie. It's a sci-fi movie. It's a horror. and it's about how robots are taking over. It's humans versus robots in the sense of almost like sort of share some things with Battlestar Galactica.
Okay.
But it's called Screamers because the robots travel under the fucking ground, and when they're fucking moving, they scream. But they also can look like little children, so that you would fucking go and help that child to safety, and it would track you and just fucking like attack at random fucking times. Like, it's a wild movie, but it would be really fucking cool just to be redone. Like, in a proper sense, with technology, things looking better.
Now, how about one that actually is getting done? Dune.
Dune is going to be...
Yes.
I saw the greatest Reddit post today.
Batteries Not Included should not be remade. I'm sorry. That should not be remade.
One.
That isn't it's an incredible movie.
Yeah, Miranda's throwing out Batteries Not Included. That is a really good one. But it makes me... Movie, you say Dune, I think, and we actually talked about this the other way. Dune's going to be... I can't wait for that. Yeah. Is McLaughlin involved in that at all? Do we know? Is he having any... Kyle McLaughlin?
I don't remember. They keep announcing things. The funniest thing I saw today was on Reddit. It was like a Twitter post that somebody had made into a meme, and it said... fucking what's his face? Christian Bale gains 450,000 pounds to play one of the sand dudes.
Nice.
It's a sandworms.
Sandworms, nice.
It was just it hit me so funny. You know, he's a method actor.
Oh, he would do it. He would do it. He would definitely do it. But
just someone writing that on Twitter.
Wait, who were you asking about? Is who involved in Dune?
Kyle McLaughlin.
No.
Because he was there
Dennis
in the original.
Villeneuve is the director. Frank Herbert, Eric Roth.
Frank Herbert's the guy who wrote the book.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But the cast is very weird.
Yeah. Who's they actually have announced cast?
Zendaya, Jason Momoa, Timothy Chalamet. Chalamet?
Oh, Timothy Chalamet?
Yeah. Rebecca Ferguson, Josh Brolin. Stellan Skarsgård.
Stellan Skarsgård?
Yeah.
Skarsgård is playing
Oscar Isaac,
Harkonnen,
Dave Bautista.
Damn.
Javier Bardem.
Yes.
Yeah. Charlotte Rampling.
Yeah, the cast is great.
That's a really good cast.
Chang.
That's supposed to happen.
When Miranda said Batteries Not Included, it brought me to another movie that, while Batteries Not Included should stay on its own.
I think it should.
One that could be remade, and it would be really funny to use. What I always like, if you're going to do a remake and the original actor is available to now play another actor in it, you should do that. Zach had never heard of this movie when I brought it up to him, but Cocoon.
Oh yeah, Cocoon, yeah, dude.
Where
those are great movies.
Those are amazing. There's two of them, I believe.
Yep.
And it's basically, if you don't know, old people get rejuvenated into their youth, basically, but they still look old. They're just highly energetic because of this alien thing that crashes into their pool.
Yep.
Now do that with Gutenberg as the old person. Like, bring him back in. That would be phenomenal. Be really cool. That would be really fucking awesome. I think that'd be great. And that would be getting the feel of something like Batteries Not Included, and you know, pulling, because I think it actually shares a cast member or two in that.
No, definitely the old woman.
Yeah, the old woman.
She was definitely one of. Wasn't the diabetes?
Yeah, Wilford Brimley.
Yeah, I think it was his wife or something in the movie.
Yeah, but that movie is so fucking funny and weird and all over the place. And then I think immediately of another Gutenberg classic with Short Circuit. Short Circuit would be
that's a great movie.
Really fucking fun.
I think they tried to remake it with Chappie, but Chappie is not the same.
Chappie is like...
It's different in its sense.
And then also there's the accusations of Wall-E basically being ripped off visually, but it's not storyline-wise.
I don't know.
All right, now... To wrap everything up, can you think of one remake or reboot that is happening that you are as pissed as Justin would be if Batteries Not Included was? Is there anything that you're like, why the fuck are you touching that? Reboot, remake, or sequel? Now, in my head, I am very excited about one. For sure, and that is Dr. Sleep, right? That's the
it's a sequel.
Yeah, it's a sequel. So that's a sequel. So I am excited about that, the sequel to The Shining, and visually they're going to be pulling a lot of stuff from Kubrick on there.
It does look great.
But I am... Again, I already said The Last Airbender. That is something that I'm very, very excited to see them do. But I am personally offended pretty much every single time they remake or reboot the Ninja Turtles. Probably.
Are they
because-
making another one?
I don't know, but
They
they
will.
did those like 10
They
years
will.
ago.
I-
The last 10
They've
years.
rebooted
All
it
right,
twice
so-
already.
Yeah, the cartoon, the series itself got rebooted, and they changed the foot to the Purple Phantoms or something like that. They're not even the same name anymore. And then the CGI of them all, it's like I get that you were trying to make it for kids who grew up watching the new anime style Ninja Turtles, but that original, all of them in suits, like actual turtle suits, even the shitty one where they travel back in time
You
and
just
space.
had on Angry Video Game Nerd, I think, and he was going through the history of the Turtles, like the whole animated series compared to the movie.
Yeah.
And he's right. When the movie came out, it was so much better than the actual show.
Yeah. It was great.
And then once
And the
that
comic
set that
apparently
standard,
was very dark and very adult-based.
Yeah.
I never read any of the comic.
For
I
sure.
never read it.
Most comics are though. Most
yeah.
comics are not for children.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Another one that they might be remaking because they've alluded to it here and there in Marvel movies would be Howard the Duck. With I think I said in the past Seth Rogen, but it's Seth Green that was doing the voice in those. That movie is so
I love
fucked
that
up and
movie.
weird, and all of it.
I
Like,
love the
she
movie.
fucks a duck.
Yeah.
She goes from wanting to fuck her son in Back to the Future to fucking a duck within like 3 years.
I mean, you say
And-
duck tit.
Oh my. But dude,
That's
like,
a weird movie.
it's
I love
a weird
it, though.
movie, but
Fucking
I want
is.
that to sit and stay as it is. I don't want to see that come back again. And they've been teasing it here and there in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
But is there anything specifically that comes to your mind of anything that
I
you would
had
not,
something I want. I was
that you
one
don't
of them
want?
actually excited
That's already
for.
happening.
No.
Okay,
what
what
I'm
are you
excited
excited for?
The new It.
Okay,
Part two looks fucking good.
Yeah. The casting of
probably-
it is probably one of the best jobs of casting.
I just
the
like
children.
how much darker it looks. They're
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, we did this movie. It's about kids.
It wasn't made for TNT, you know. Like,
well, I
the
think
original
the
was made for
psychological
TV.
mindfuck now that
Yeah.
you're like, oh, that would have probably scared me as a kid, and it probably scared the shit out of kids.
Yeah.
In modern time now,
Yep.
but now they're gonna fuck
And again,
with the
another
adults.
Skarsgård crushing it.
Yeah. I
Fucking
mean,
destroying that.
But
role.
anything Transformers, stay away from the fucking Transformers shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's
Just,
what I would
we
be
don't need any
disappointed
more
with.
of that. Like Marky Mark already picked it
don't
up and
really
tried to run
care.
with it for a couple of movies. I think he made like 2 or 3 of them, and I only saw one of them, and just don't need any more. And then they did Bumblebee again.
You can only watch so much fucking random colors of shit flying by without realizing what the fuck it is.
Exactly, and that noise, like the fucking everything, fucking it gets old. Zach, anything come to your mind of something that is
All
happening
the
that you're
Disney
pissed about?
things that they're doing.
The live action Disney.
I am so not into it.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Again, another
I don't
thing.
really
It was
care.
art. It was wonderful. It was what it was. Leave it there. And
Is
that's
that
not-
just because they're out of ideas at this point?
I think so, or they're just like, let's capitalize. Nostalgia is
They're
king
just
right
making
now.
Well,
the,
especially-
it's
well,
the golden
what
age
it
of
actually-
Disney that they're just
But
remaking.
but
all
it
of
adds
them.
to them release. The more shit that they can get out in that sense, the more that they have for their fucking library. So
Yeah.
whether it's live action or original, now people can watch the live action.
Keith
fucking
throws a
Lion
good
King.
one out there right there. No Lady and the
No
Tramp.
Lady and the Tramp, yeah.
Fuck, that would be the weirdest thing if they did what they did to the Lion King to Lady and the Tramp.
Oh man, that'd be weird.
Oh, it'd be so. You're just again like with the Lion King. I didn't see it, but just watching the previews and all the clips that they released and listening to the music, the music's phenomenal. Like they did a great job
Actually,
with the
can we
music.
do a-
But the eyes, some guy did a rendering of all of the modern, the newer one, and gave them back their cartoony eyes. And it just makes it 1,000 times better.
yeah.
Just give them
Trying to go
Actually,
cartoon.
you know what
eyes.
we really didn't need?
Oh, they are doing it. He's saying, "Oh God, it's gonna be fucking terrible."
Cats.
What if?
Cats.
Oh yeah.
That looks
Cats.
so
Oh,
fucking
it looks
bad.
so weird.
That
Which
looks
I did
so
watch a
fucking
video
bad.
where it was FX dudes
Yeah.
or FX guys rate fucking the quality of the shit, and they're
Yeah.
like visually,
Oh,
they
sure.
did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
But they're claiming that there's no motion tracking. They're like actually going through the videos and they're like, there's clearly motion tracking things
Yeah.
that they're wearing.
Well, I
You
think
know what
actually, I might be mistaken, but I think Miranda, who's in the chat right now, I think she posted it. If it wasn't her, it was somebody else, and maybe she commented on it or whatever. I don't know why I'm assigning it to her.
She also says not down with rumors of the Craft remake.
Oh yeah, no, don't touch that one. Don't touch that one. But the Craft is fucking good movie. That's a fucking.
There's certain things that shouldn't have cell phones in.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Certain things don't make sense unless you're going to remake it in the original time period.
Yes.
And stick to that, whatever. But there is the
when making the Goonies right now. It would be impossible.
Yeah. When Cats was announced and that trailer came out, I believe it was Miranda, but it might have been somebody else posted on Facebook that it was just as terrifying as the commercials they used to roll on TV.
Yeah, you remember
those Cats commercials that you'd be like watching and be like, what the fuck is this? Like, why are there sexy cats? Like, I don't need sexy cats. Like, what the fuck was Sondheim or whoever did it? Like,
cat eyes looking at you.
Yeah, I don't need that. But the one thing I was trying to remember before, but the one thing that I am, and I'll end it on this, I am equally happy and pissed off about, because I'm excited to see where they go with it. But I don't know why the fuck it's happening, because the last one came out about a year ago. Okay. They are remaking Saw.
Oh, yeah.
And Chris Rock is doing it. Chris Rock is remaking Saw. But a black Saw.
You know why, though? Because it didn't actually, I guess the original, it was different directors throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
But, some of the same writers. I think by the end of it, it was just didn't get the endings that they wanted.
Yeah.
So I think that they were trying to write this whole thing. So excited to see what he
could do with it, because a comedian's approach of a horror thing, comedians are fucked up. They have fucked up brains. So I appreciate that. Like when Kevin Smith went and started making Red State and all the other fucking weird movies, like you have
John Goodman,
better look at that.
My favorite part is when John Goodman, once you realize that John Goodman is just giving his statement.
Yeah.
And it cuts to him, and he's talking about the siren. So what happened? And he's like, nothing. There's just a bunch of idiots that heard a fucking siren going off, thinking that it was the end of the world.
The end of the world, and the horns
I've
being.
Never seen that movie.
Red State's really, you definitely check that out. But yeah, that Saw, I think it'll be fun to see what he does with it, because of the fucked up brain a comedian can have. But yeah, why doesn't he? If it's
is it going to be less brutal or just as brutal?
Yeah,
are they going as gory with it?
Yeah. And is there going to be a white Danny Glover in this one, or a black Danny Glover? Are they just flip-flopping everything?
Are they starting from the original?
That's what I heard. They're going to be starting he is rebooting.
I think the great thing about the original is it was on such a tight budget with no money.
Well, I was the first American audience to see it. I was living in LA at the time. It was 2004.
I remember you telling me.
And I met James Wan and Lee Wanell, the guys who wrote and the one guy who directed it. But they both wrote it, and Lee Wanell plays Adam, the main character in the first one that's locked in there.
Which he's from Men in Tights.
No. Lee Wanell is the young guy, the photographer that's locked in there with Carrie Elways from Men in Tights and Liar Liar and all of that.
I got you.
Princess Bride.
Yes. Princess Bride.
So the movie was made for just over $1 million in 18 days. They filmed everything in 18 days, and that just over $1 million includes Danny Glover's paycheck and Carrie Elway's paycheck.
Realistically, you could have gotten anybody to do that part.
Now
so bad. That was the worst part of it.
What, Carrie Elway's?
No.
Or Danny Glover. Yeah, it was kind of he was way too old for that
Why
shit.
Did you do that? Why did they do this?
Yeah. But so the movie, they originally made out to create it thinking, and this is why I don't like it, because I have a personal connection to being one of the first, literally, they were there and they're like, nobody has seen this movie yet. We've seen it twice. We haven't had a premiere for it yet. And it was for a screenwriting magazine that me and my sister signed up for. Real quick. So they did it all on a real tight budget, and originally they only filmed the scene with the headgear part with the girl needing to get out, because they said they had $10,000. They're like, we're either going to make the cheapest movie in the world, or we're going to make the most expensive short that we can make. Sure. So they went with the expensive short. They filmed it, made copies of it, and just sent it to everybody in Hollywood. Sure. And that actual headpiece, they went to a friend who was a welder, and they said, this is what we want the contraption to be and look like. And he went, okay. So we made it, and then they saw it, and they went, it looks too new. And he went, all right. And he threw it in a tub, put the tub on top of his roof, and let it sit there in a tub full of water for 3 weeks and just rust and just get gross. And then they put it on the person, and then that's the same one they used in the real movie. Wow.
That's crazy.
That movie is I love that. For me, not being a horror fan, having that personal connection to that, and being too embarrassed in a theater full of a bunch of people in Hollywood to watch it like that, through my fingers. So I'm excited and I'm nervous, but probably more excited.
Yeah.
Okay, what's
but
your
it's
great
gonna be
idea?
better than the Chester Bennington one. I'm sorry, the 3D. Anyway, so something that we should write and sell to DC is the Riddler, but in the style of Saw.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Riddler is a great villain.
Riddler's a great villain.
Great
He is.
villain can go super fucking dark.
Go
with it.
really dark with it. The way that they're
And then
doing the Joker
introduce-
standalone.
and then introduce that into a world or keep it as its own thing.
right.
There are so many characters that don't have things written for them.
Yeah.
Riddler would be awesome
That would be.
in
yeah.
that style.
That'd be fucking great.
Let's write
And then
it.
you know what? You bring Carrey back and have him do it real fucked up.
Yeah.
Have Jim Carrey come back and do Edward Nygma as fucked up as he possibly can.
All the shit you're going through in
sprinkle
life,
little things.
just fucking go off. Dude.
Yeah, fuck, that'd be great. That would be awesome. All right, well, I think we came up with a really good idea there, so I think that's a great place to end the episode here. I want to thank everybody that is listening live and everybody that's listening in the future for tuning in. I want to give a big shout out to Amanda who is the singer and songwriter for Sweetnest. Definitely go check them out. Again, the new song Baby, the new album is going to be coming out shortly. Big thanks to Mr. Eric DeCosti, our wonderful, extremely kind, one of the nicest guys I've ever met.
Yes,
Our
he is.
super producer, EJ5000. And the guys over at Let Me Ask You a Question. Go check them out every Monday on the Moot Drop, along with our episode, as long as we get to it in time on Sundays.
Sorry.
Sometimes we're busy.
Yeah.
That should be out today or tomorrow if it's not already on there. And yeah, go check out that
Sorry,
White
Mark.
Wasabi. And other than that, I have to say thank you to Mr. Justin Olimpado.
Hey man, you're welcome
for putting this all
Yeah,
together.
you're welcome, dude.
And a big thank you to Mr. Zachary
What if pimples were mini dicks?
Storman.
Okay.
And that question,
Is that
you should
Let me
resonate on for
ask
the
you a
next week.
question?
Yeah, and then let me ask you a question.
What if
Should
pimples
ask
were
that.
mini dicks?
They should have. What if pimples were mini? Like if you group, they got hard and they got soft. They had balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a cock.
How
growing on your
much
forehead.
Noxzema would everybody have? Or would KY be making Noxzema? Who knows? They might be the same company.
It'd probably be the same company.
Probably the
dude.
same
It
company.
probably is the same company.
It probably is. It's
Yeah,
Johnson and
you're
Johnson or Bayer or something like
Yeah.
that.
Something.
All right. Well, hey, don't go growing any cocks on your face anytime
Or
soon.
do if that's what you
Unless
want
you
to
really
do.
want to.
Whatever.
For Kyle Mocha
Who
Won't
are you
Shut
to
Up,
judge?
I
Yeah.
am Kyle Mocha. We'll see you guys next week where we will have part 5 of Rubbish, the Garbage Man Epic. And again, no guest. We'll see you then. Have a good week.
Fuck you.
Mood.tv.
There's nothing more egomaniacal than singing the theme music for your own show. Who am I? Kelsey Grammer. If I could only drink like him, we're gonna write a new one every week. Some will be solid, some will be weak. We're gonna write a new one every week. Some will be solid, some will be total experimental pieces of shit. Oh, we're not over yet. Now we are.